and I think they've got an interim coach, but somebody was saying that Mark McGuire was going to.
He's supposed to be the new coach.
I don't know if he's going
That's what's his name? Stibler or Stiebel?
It's Mike Schultz, I believe, is our new manager's name.
But isn't that interim though? I thought
yes, it's interim. It's interim for the rest of the season. That is, and I wasn't planning on breaking it out right now. I really wasn't, guys. I was gonna kind of keep the flow going and keep the jazz going and the happy tunes and everything, but I mentioned earlier about some shenanigans. It's time to, you were talking about that. It's time to bring back an old standby. So without, and I'll be happy to have you guys comment afterwards, but without further ado, maybe I'm crazy.
Join the world crazy.
Maybe I'm crazy, but Mike Matheny is not the reason he got fired. Let me say that again.
Wait a minute.
Maybe I'm crazy, but Mike Matheny didn't get himself fired. John Mozeliak and our owner Bill DeWitt II did. It's actually not Mike Matheny's fault. They should never have hired him in the first place. He was not qualified. He only managed a little league team or whatever, and they hired him because he had all that debt from bad real estate decisions. They had the chance to hire Terry Francona. Terry Francona we could have had as our manager, but nope. We decided to hire Matheny. He has no experience. He gets to the World Series in his second year because that's La Russa's team, not his. And then he goes ahead and totally messes up the team, can't make the playoffs, can't make a double switch when needed, can't lay a bunt down with first and second and nobody out. He's literally possibly the worst manager I've ever seen in my entire life. And I want to give this an example so that people can understand where I'm coming from. People will remember we had an infielder for a while named Aaron Miles. And Aaron Miles' games very similar to David Eckstein, only Aaron Miles was not as talented as David Eckstein. So there was a period of time, about a season and a half's worth, that Aaron Miles was playing shortstop, and he was terrible. This guy was a second baseman playing shortstop with not good range and not a good arm. You can't blame Aaron Miles. He's out there in a uniform in a Major League Baseball game trying his best, and anyone who doesn't do that isn't worth their salt. So it's not Aaron Miles' fault. That was actually La Russa's fault for putting him out there in that position. So same thing here with Matheny. It was not Matheny's fault that he got fired. It was Mozeliak and Bill DeWitt II's fault because he should never have been the manager. They should have hired him in 2012 as either a bench coach or a minor league coach, give him some chance to learn when you use a double switch, when you don't use a double switch, when to bunt with runners on first and second and nobody out, and let Francona win some World Series in St. Louis. So maybe I'm crazy, but Matheny didn't get himself fired. It wasn't even his fault. It was Mozeliak and Bill DeWitt II because he should never have been in that place in the first place.
Well, Steely Dan, it sounds like you know what you're talking about there, and